Hi sewing besties, my name is Remy. I'm the designer behind Remy Made Patterns, and this is the long anticipated Margot top sewing tutorial. I know. Thank you so much for all the love on this pattern. It makes me so happy that so many people love making it and they want a tutorial for it. Yeah, here it is at long last. The Margot top is a long sleeved, flowy, kind of oversized top, which makes it great for beginners because since it is oversized and flowy, it is very forgiving. It's kind of a baby doll style top with how it flows and sits. And then it has this cute little tie about the front and balloon sleeves, which I absolutely love balloon sleeves. I think they're so cute. These are the two Margot tops that I've already made. I have this really beautiful white one. This is a white cotton gauze, and I made some matching shorts to go with this one, so it's a little two-piece set. And I have this, it's kind of hard to tell far away on camera. It looks very purple, but it's more of like a purple turquoisey green checkered linen. I love this one. This is the first one that I made, and the fabric is still so cute and definitely one of my favorite fabrics I've worked with. It's taken me so long to film this tutorial because I have been looking everywhere to find some fabric that I really love and want to make the Margot top out of. And I finally found this really cute one. I found this really beautiful fabric. It is like an orangey coral and it looks a lot like linen up close, but I'm pretty sure it's 100% cotton. And it has these really cute little mustard yellow, like embroidered threads running through it, which is so fun. It reminded me a lot of Free People when I saw it. And this color is one that I don't wear too often. So I'm really excited to make it because I do really love it and I feel like it'd be a fun new color to add to my wardrobe. So yeah, I am going to sew up a Margot top using this fabric and I will show you guys step by step how I make the Margot top so you can follow along with me. And if you haven't grabbed the pattern yet, it is on my website remymade.com, and I'll link it in the description below as well if you would like to grab it and sew along with me. So let's get started. After cutting out all your pattern pieces, finish the center edge on each front piece with a zigzag or overlock stitch. Place the two front pieces right sides together, aligning the finished center edges, and pin or clip them in place. Measure about 1 inch or 1.5 inches from the top and mark that using a pin. I'm going to sew a straight stitch along this pinned edge, leaving the top part where I marked with the pin unsewn. Press the seam allowance open on the wrong side, pressing the unsewn top edges diagonally like this. And continue pressing the seam all the way down. I'm going to flip it over and give it a good press from the front as well, just to make sure everything looks nice. Next, we're going to lay the back piece flat with the right side facing up, and then place the front piece on top, right side down, so the front and back are right sides together. Align the shoulder edges of the front and back pieces and pin or clip them in place. And sew a straight stitch along both shoulder edges. Be sure to finish these edges with a zigzag or overlock stitch. And I'm going to press them from the front to make sure everything looks nice and flat. Next, we're going to take the bias tape piece and lay it flat and fold the short edge in about 1/2 inch and press. Then we're going to fold both of the long edges in towards the middle and press flat as well. If you have a bias tape maker, you can use that to make the process go a little bit faster. You can see my bias tape piece was cut straight across the fabric grain line. However, it's supposed to be cut diagonally as mentioned in the pattern. I just cut it like this for the tutorial because I was feeling lazy. But if you cut it on an actual bias, it'll wrap around the neckline much easier. With the shirt right side out, place the bias tape right side together with the neckline and position the folded short end of the bias tape so it meets at the front corner of the neckline. Align the raw edge of the neckline with the unfolded long edge of the bias tape and pin or clip all the way around the neckline. The bias tape will be slightly longer than the neckline by design. If needed, trim any excess, then refold the ends so both short ends meet neatly at the center front. Sew the bias tape in place, stitching along the first folded crease. Now fold the bias tape up and over the raw neckline edge to the inside of the shirt, tucking the remaining folded edge under to cover the stitching, and pin or clip it in place all the way around the neckline. Next, we're going to sew all the way around the neckline again, stitching close to the inner folded edge to secure it in place. Now I'm going to press the neckline flat with an iron just to make sure everything is sitting nicely. Again, if you cut your bias tape actually on a bias, it'll sit much nicer than mine is. Next, we're going to ruche the sleeve pieces. So sew a basting stitch along the curved edge of each sleeve piece without back stitching at the beginning or end. And sew a second basting stitch a few centimeters below the first one, also without back stitching. Gently pull on one thread from each row of basting stitches to gather the fabric. Adjust the gathers so most of the fullness sits at the center of the curved edge. Continue adjusting until the curved edge of each sleeve roughly matches the length of the curved armhole on the joined front and back pieces. Each sleeve piece should be the same length or slightly longer. With the shirt right side out and laid flat, place one sleeve right sides together with the armhole. I like to fold the sleeve in half to figure out where the middle is and pin that in place first. Then align the front and back edges of the sleeve with the front and back of the armhole. Pin or clip around the curve. Sew a straight stitch around the armhole to attach the sleeve. Be sure to finish this edge with a zigzag stitch or overlock stitch. Now we're going to repeat the same thing for the second sleeve. So again, lay it on top, right sides together, fold it in half to identify the middle of the sleeve and pin it in place along the shoulder seam. And then continue pinning the rest of the sleeve to the rest of the armhole opening. And sew a straight stitch to secure the sleeve to the armhole. And once again, be sure to finish the edge with a zigzag or overlock stitch. I'm going to press these seams flat, again, just to make sure everything looks nice and finished. Next, we're going to connect the front and back sides of the shirt. So turn the shirt inside out and fold the shirt at the shoulder seams so the front and back pieces are aligned and the sleeves are folded over themselves in the middle. Pin or clip the side seams and sleeve edges in place. Sew a straight stitch along the pinned edges from the bottom of the sleeve to the bottom of the shirt. Now I'm doing the same thing to the other side of the shirt. And I'm going to finish these side seams with a zigzag or overlock stitch. Turn the shirt right side out and press the new seams flat. Next, we're going to hem the bottom of the shirt, so turn the shirt inside out again. So we do this by double folding the bottom edge by a 1/2 inch. So fold the bottom edge of the shirt in by a 1/2 inch and press. And fold the bottom edge in again by another 1/2 inch to enclose the raw edge, creating a double fold hem and press. Sew a straight stitch along the folded edge to secure the hem. We're going to do something very similar with the sleeve pieces to create the balloon sleeves. So fold the end of each sleeve in by a 1/2 inch and press. And fold it in again by another 1/2 inch to make a double fold hem and press. And I'm doing that to both sleeves. Sew a straight stitch along the folded edge, but this time leaving a 1 inch gap to insert the elastic. So here you can see I left a gap of about 1 inch. We're going to do the exact same for the other sleeve. Measure around your wrist and add about 55 to 60% to this measurement. This will be the length of your elastic. For example, my wrist measurement is 6 inches and my elastic length is 9.5 inches. When in doubt, make the elastic slightly longer than needed. You can always shorten it later. Attach a safety pin to one end of the elastic and insert it into the hem channel and push or shimmy it all the way around until it comes out the other end. Sometimes I like to put a sewing pin on the other end of the elastic just to make sure it doesn't accidentally slip into the channel. When it comes out the other end, we're going to remove the safety pin and the pin and secure the elastic ends together. Overlap the ends of the elastic and sew them together using a zigzag stitch. Close the gap in the hem with a straight stitch, keeping the elastic tucked inside. And I'm going to repeat the process for the second sleeve, inserting the elastic and shimming it all the way around the channel until it comes out the other side. And then securing the ends of the elastic together using a zigzag stitch. Once I have the elastic fully inside the channel, I'm going to close it using a straight stitch. Next, we're going to create the tie. So lay the tie piece flat and fold both short raw edges inwards by a 1/2 inch and press. And then fold both of the long edges in towards the center so they meet in the middle and pin or clip in place and press. Again, I'm going to use a bias tape maker here to make the process go a little bit faster. Once both of your long edges are in towards the middle, we are going to fold the tie in half lengthwise, enclosing all raw edges, and pin or clip in place and press. Sew a straight stitch along the long edge to secure the tie. Attach a safety pin to one end of the tie and thread the tie through the bias tape neckline, shimming it all the way around until it comes out the other side. And there you have it. That is how to make the Margot top. It is one of my favorite tops because it's just so easily wearable. It's spring right now in Seattle, and even though it is still a little bit chilly, this has been the perfect top to wear because it's long sleeve, but it still feels super flowy and spring vibes, which I love. If you haven't grabbed the pattern yet, it is up on my website, remymade.com, and I will link it in the description below as well, so you can make a Margot top for yourself. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok at Remy Made Patterns. I post a lot of short form sewing content and tips and tricks and behind the scenes. I also announce new patterns that I'm releasing as well. If you liked this tutorial and it was helpful for you, please give it a like and a subscribe so that I make more sewing tutorials in the future. Thank you so much for watching along and being part of my sewing community. It really means the world to me. With that, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day and happy sewing!